All right, we finally made it into the Blue Jackets dressing room here, and Nick Foligno talking to the media. And the trick will be to find a way to get in and talk to Nick. Now, you know what? We'll wait for Nick for a minute until it clears up. Prouder, can I get you for a second? How you doing, man? Good. Sitting here with Dalton Prout. We'll talk with him. Well, you guys finished off the way you wanted to at home. And, okay, maybe it wasn't the the most exciting game you played all year, but a win is a win, right?
Yeah, a win's a win. Another win in the win column. I think that one meant a lot to our coach too. It's a milestone for him, and you know, we look for anything we can rally around, and you know, we did a good job tonight. Just it's emotionally, it's a tough game to play. Really tough.
You know, it's funny. We always talk about getting the shot through to the net. On the game-winning goal, you didn't get the shot through, but you still made it happen. It comes off the defender, it bounces right to Cam's stick, and he puts it in. So you'll take that, right?
Yeah, I'll take it. I've been in that guy's spot before. You know, sometimes you try and block a shot, and as a defenseman in front of the net, and if it goes off, there's some loose forwards around the net, and luckily we were on the good side of that play.
You guys didn't play well at home all year, didn't have a lot of wins at home, but you win 6 in a row to close it out. So I would imagine that you've accomplished that. You guys talked about wanting to play better for the home fans. Do you feel like you were at least able to do that at the end?
Yeah, that was a goal of ours going down the home stretch here, and I think we accomplished that, and we're going to ride that into next year. That's something that we need to get better at. That's, you know what, you know, the bottom of the line is if we had a better home record, we'd be in the playoffs right now. So that's a focus of ours, and like I said, we're going to carry it into next year.
You're looking forward to tomorrow, going in to play the Islanders. That'll be a big game, and it's a big night with the last regular season game in that building.
Yeah, we have. There's a lot of points to key on. They're getting ready for playoffs. They're going to bring their A game. They have a guy by the name of John Tavares in the leading scoring race, so that's going to be a job of ours to shut him down, and something we're going to rally around. And yeah, so there's a lot of motivating factors for a big game tomorrow night.
Dalton, thank you very much. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Dalton Prout talking with us here tonight. Nick Foligno's still over at his locker. I know he wants to go. I know we'll need to go out to the airport here in a bit, but let's listen to what Nick has to say here for a moment.
I mean, as much as you know, we're going out there and battling every night, they're there watching and supporting us. And I know this year hasn't gone as planned for us and for them. And we want them to know that you know, what they saw the past month and a half is the true team, and that's an exciting team going forward. And so you know, we're really proud that they stuck with us, continue to support us, and you know, I can't say enough about our fans here. They're some of the best in the league, and they showed why tonight. They're there supporting you each and every night, and we hope to bring them a Stanley Cup here pretty soon.
Nick, short speech for you there at the end to the crowd, but this has been a big year for you in this community, hasn't it? When you go back to the All-Star game and you got recognized for the community award here tonight, how much does all that stuff mean to you?
Oh, it's really nice. It's touching. It's humbling, and it's you know, it's a nice feeling to know that you know, you're doing the things the right way and getting rewarded for them. And I think that's my biggest thing, is just continuing to be a good person, good player. And I think once you roll all that together, it's kind of allowed me to take another step in my career. And you know, I'm having so much fun. I love this group of guys. I love the city. I love playing for this team, and I've made I made that pretty known since I got here, and I'm enjoying it. And you know, now it's making sure that we bring a Stanley Cup contending team or Stanley Cup champion team to this city, because that's what I promised, and that's you know, something that all these guys in here are committed to doing, and I don't think we're far off.
You know, it was really nice as you get recognized, and 14 seconds into the game, you put the first puck in the net. How about that?
That was pretty cool. It was a pretty nice play by Doobie, and just sat there for me on a tee, so I was able to put that one in, but definitely nice to get that one for the fans.
How much are you looking forward to tomorrow? Not that you want the season to end, but you know you're going in to play a playoff team. You know it's going to mean a lot to them playing in that building, the challenge of doing that.
It's going to be a tough game. I mean, they're battling to continue to just play well, I'm sure, and also it's their last game in that building, so a lot of emotions, and should get us excited for the game. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you know, just continue to play the right way. I mean, it's our last game to really feel good about ourselves going in the off season, and I'm sure every guy wants that.
Kind of a shift from the last two teams way out of the playoffs to one that's going there.
Yeah, it's going to be a real good test for us, and we've said all along, we just got to continue to try and get better, and this is a team that we can do it against, so it's going to be a real good test for us.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
That's Nick Foligno talking with us here in the Blue Jackets dressing room, and Cam Atkinson's over here. He had the game-winning goal, and he's got a crowd around him, so let's duck in and get some stuff from Cam here.
I knew, you know, we were up there, but I don't really follow that, to be honest.
Does it mean anything to you now, knowing that you set the franchise record tied the franchise record point streak?
Yeah, it's definitely nice. You know, it's just we're a healthy group now, so you know, we could have been doing this all year long, but you know, it's just part of the game, and hopefully we can stay healthy for next year and you know, beat this record.
You're kind of surprised by that, Cam. You set a franchise record for wins, you tie a franchise record for points, and all of that in a season that is not even near where you guys wanted to be.
Yeah, there's been a lot of ups and downs, and a season that we're not making playoffs. It seems like there's been a lot of positives, especially since there's been so many injuries. But it's crazy to think that we've broken a lot of franchise records. It kind of baffles my mind.
You almost wound up on that injury list at the end of the game the other night when you got cut. You were able to play tonight and pick up your 21st of the year. How glad were you that you didn't wind up on the list? You were still in the game.
Yeah, I made sure everyone got off the bench before I got off. I made sure Wenny was off, and Joey was looking back at me, so I was like, just go on the ice, please. But no, it was great to get the win in front of our fans, especially our last home game. And, they were buzzing, and like I said, we all our success to them.
Yeah, and you guys have talked about winning in front of the home fans. It wasn't just talk because you did it 6 times in a row to end the year.
Yeah, it's been great. Like I've been saying, we're a healthy group now, so it's fun playing like that. We have all 4 lines going, all 6 of the year buzzing, and quick up in pucks and joining the rush, and obviously Bob's been a rock for us.
And that game tonight, another non-playoff team. Tomorrow's going to be a much different game. Are you looking forward to embracing that challenge of going up against a team that you really want to kind of make a mark against as you wind up the regular season?
Yeah, for sure. They came to our building a week or 2 ago and we beat them. So, I'm sure they're going to be looking for a little bit of revenge, and they're going to want to win in front of their home fans. And the building's going to be rocking. So we just got to harness our emotions and play our game and keep playing the way that we've been playing, and we'll be fine.
I know you were a Rangers guy growing up, but what about the aura of playing the last regular season game at Nassau Coliseum?
Yeah, definitely a Rangers fan, not the biggest Islanders fan. But no, it's exciting. It's a lot of history in that building, so I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have some family members in the building, so it's going to be fun.
Thanks, Cam. Cam Atkinson talking to us tonight. He wound up getting that third period goal, which broke the 2-2 tie. Like that. If you're listening on the radio, I just did a nice spin there. It was really graceful. If you want to watch it later, BlueJackets.com, you'll love every bit of it. So I will lead the way out of the room here tonight. Head coach Todd Richards will be talking to the media in just a couple of minutes here, and then the Blue Jackets will be on the plane on the way to Long Island for tomorrow's season finale against the New York Islanders. We'll be back at BlueJackets.com and on the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network. How much time, Derek? It was only a 2-minute break.
Blue Jackets a winner over the Buffalo Sabres tonight, 4-2 at Nationwide Arena. Bob McElligott joined by Jody Shelley as the Blue Jackets close out the home portion of the schedule tonight. And Jody, for a while, it was nip and tuck there, 2-2 in the third period.
Sometimes when things happen too easy, you might sit back a little. I sensed a little push from the Buffalo Sabres, but I thought the Blue Jackets might have got a little too cute in some situations. Love the way they came out and fired the puck at the goaltender. Attacked with 17 shots in the first period. They really took control of the game, but you're right, 2-2. I think the Sabres fans might have got a little restless. They want to be where they're at. They don't want to gain any more ground on the Arizona Coyotes. So they're happy with the Blue Jackets getting that power play goal, and Cam Atkinson, the empty netter. Good job at Columbus.
Yeah, you mentioned about being too cute, and I'd mentioned that on my broadcast in the second period. There were some things that they were doing against the Sabres that they're not going to do tomorrow against the Islanders. Or if they do, they could pay a price. They weren't paying that price by doing those things against Buffalo.
That's a good point, because you look at the last two games, no pushback from the Toronto Maple Leafs the game before. Tonight, things happened great early. Fan appreciation night kind of set up perfectly. But tomorrow, boy, they better be ready. I mean, Long Island beat the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, and the Islanders want to get as far up in the standings as they can, but they're a heavy, hard team to play against. Last tune-up for them before the playoffs.
You spent a lot of time playing in that building against the Islanders. Tomorrow is the last regular season, the last regular season game in Nassau Coliseum. It's a building with a lot of history. Somebody told me one time that historic buildings means old and decrepit, so that could still be the case. Yeah, to an extent. But a lot of history. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of former players there. There's going to be an aura around that place.
There always is. All right, when you walk in there, you don't think it's the best place to look at aesthetically. It's not awesome, but the character, the banners, the way it's set up, it's just one of those buildings. If you've never been into, well, this is the last game. I know there are some Jacketbackers driving there tomorrow morning to make puck drop tomorrow night. Good Blue Jackets fans to catch that last game, but it's just awesome. And the fans there, they know their role and they embrace it. They're one way, and they're loud and they're mean. They'll boo the Islanders if they have to, but they're definitely going to boo the opposition. So it's going to be a nice atmosphere in there tomorrow night.
Are you happy with the way the Blue Jackets closed it out, 6 wins in a row at home?
Can't beat it. I mean, and some of the teams that came in, Pittsburgh was here last Saturday. That's a team that's in dire straits. The Blue Jackets took a big bite out of them. Nick Foligno gets that hat trick. I mean, these are all things as a fan. This is what you want. This is a pat on the back to the fans, I think, and it started probably 2 weeks ago for the Blue Jackets, and it all came right to end tonight with Sergei and Nick with the final hug here at home.
Yeah, and I think that's what, as you said earlier, the Sabres fans are hoping for their team to lose. The Blue Jackets, there was a time in November where things looked very bleak, and that thought could cross a person's mind, but I'm glad it ended this way, with this team showing that when they do have their group together, they can do these kind of things. And now, no matter where they finish, they're going to get a pretty good pick with that first round pick.
Yeah, no question. And the Jarmo Kekalainen's been out on the roads. The scouts are out there searching, and they know it's a deep draft, which is a good thing. Okay, if they don't get number one, number two, there's going to be a good guy they're going to pick up in this first round, and he's going to come here and be a big part of this organization that is trending upwards, and that's exciting for us too to be a part of it also.
Sure, no question about it. And we've seen some guys that are going to be a big part of it, or are trying to make sure that they're going to be a big part of it. Jody, thank you very much. We'll see you on the island. Head coach Todd Richards is at the podium. Let's listen into what he has to say.
Todd, how pleased are you to be able to stamp this at home with a long stretch of good home performances at the end of the season? I know that's been bothering you for a while.
It's a good finish to our home games here. We got back to one game below 500 when it looked like it was going to be a lot worse than that. Credit to the guys, credit to the players. Great crowd tonight. It was a good environment in the building. So it was a good way to finish it here at home.
I'm sure 5 minutes into a game, the team has forgotten it's fan appreciation night because they have other things to think about. But 14 seconds in, does the crowd get an assist on that one?
Crowd gets assists on a lot of things. But again, it was a good environment all night. A lot of stuff was going on up in the crowd, and you could follow it on the jumbotron. But it was a good atmosphere and environment. As I said, there's a good feel right now around the team and around the organization and down here at Nationwide, and it's what we expected this year. And unfortunately, we didn't get it at the start, but we're getting it now, and we need to carry it. We still have 3 periods left to play, but talking about our home games it was a good way to finish.
There's been so much talk of Buffalo tanking. and I think there were times tonight where the play got a little bit loose in both directions. How hard did they push you tonight? Did they feel like a team fully engaged and looking to win a hockey game?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't look at it as a team that was tanking or not trying. They pushed, and we had to respond to it, and they had opportunities, and Bob made some saves for us, and then we started to do some good things. It was kind of sporadic the play, and it was exactly what you say, Porty, about loose, and that's what you get sometimes in games like this. But I thought both teams put forth an effort.
Todd, you reached a milestone here in Columbus. Can you talk about what that means to you, to be the all-time wins leader?
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Nothing?
Nope. Honestly, I can say that wholeheartedly. Right now, just you're sitting back and watching some of our game and just the chances, and I'm thinking about tomorrow already and what's going on, and so no, it doesn't mean anything.
You say thinking about tomorrow. This almost feels like an end. How tough is it going to be to get back up for a tough game and what is now a tough building tomorrow, the last game of the season?
Well, it'll be an interesting environment tomorrow. It'll be an interesting game. I know, in looking at the standings right now, I believe the Islanders are 1 point behind Washington. Washington plays an afternoon game tomorrow against the Rangers. I believe Islanders are 1 ROW behind. So the game could mean a lot tomorrow for the Islanders, which would be really intriguing for me. And I think it would add more to the focus, the preparation, all that, in playing game 82.
Coach, the Anisimov, Dubinsky, Foligno line, I think now has at least a goal in 6 straight. How encouraging is it for you in terms of looking forward to next season that line and really all your lines have clicked the way they have over the last 12 games?
Yeah, we'll line combinations and stuff like that, we'll probably worry about that in September. And right now we're getting contributions from 4 lines. Matty Calvert scores, Boone scores. I know Boone's was an empty net, but Cam scores a 5-on-5 goal, and Nick Foligno scores. So we were getting contributions, and Alex Wenberg's line had, I think, numerous opportunities. So the good thing is we're getting contributions from everyone.
You talked about tomorrow's game and what it might mean in terms of standings, but there's a historical significance to it too, just closing out that building. As a guy who's very familiar with hockey history, how cool is that going to be a part of?
It will be neat. It really will. It's for myself growing up, and the Islanders, the powerhouse of, I'm not even sure what years, but Mike Bossy, Dennis Potvin, and Billy Smith, a lot of names familiar to me. And I remember going to the Minnesota North Stars were playing them in the finals. And I remember going to the old Met Center and watching them play. So I was following the games on TV. It's an old building, obviously you can tell, but it's got a lot of history in it, and that's what's neat about going to the buildings like that. The old Boston Garden, the old Montreal Forum. I was never fortunate enough to get to the old Chicago Stadium, but these buildings have, they're great to go back into because there are lots of things that happen in those buildings.
Things getting loose tonight because of the type of game this was. Were you just talking about the adrenaline that your players came in with?
No, I think it was just the way both teams were playing. Sometimes you get that. Sometimes it's a tight checking game and both teams are committed to that, and sometimes it turns into the track meet where it opens up one way and you take a chance, it opens up and comes back the other way. Thanks.
Blue Jackets head coach Todd Richards, now the winningest coach in the history of the Blue Jackets franchise, getting his 126th victory here tonight as his team defeats the Buffalo Sabres by the final of 4-2. One game remains, and that's tomorrow at Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, Blue Jackets and the New York Islanders. Well, as that wraps up the BlueJackets.com portion of tonight's show, I'd like to thank everybody here on the Blue Jackets in-house production staff for all of their hard work all season, whether it was Sam going into the dressing room, and I tried to trip him with wires all the time and get him to fall down. He never did that. He always protected the camera because he knew he'd get fired if he didn't. A great job. And Jeff running our show here, and Dave and everybody involved in the room that They do everything to try to make me look good, but I still have a face for radio when all is said and done. So thank you to everyone here on our production staff for their hard work all season long. So, again, that'll wrap up the BlueJackets.com portion. Stay tuned. Mark Wyant will continue with the Tim Hortons postgame show on the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network.